Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Hello, and a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside my very fantastic, very hardworking, no matter what happens, whether she's ill or she's fit, ladies and gentlemen, she'll always be on the show as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad that I am introducing one of my very wonderful, most amazing co-hosts. She happens to be Miss Shiza Hashmi. I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan. Today it happens to be Friday.
Absolutely.
We hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your day with us. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today? How's your health?
I'm doing better, of course. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah.
And I have to say, of course, you sort of drive me or give me the motivation to come to work regardless of what I'm feeling. But where you said, however I feel I'm at work, I think we have to mention that time is a issue over here.
Yeah.
Because ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what. Now the schools, offices, universities, everything has opened. And the way from my home to work is so crowded, Shahzad. Imagine today I was so late and this is the time.
We have the same discourse.
Right,
Yeah.
but the thing is, we always leave early, right?
Yeah.
And today I was like, now that I'm late, I leave even later so that, the roads are empty.
Yeah, but they weren't.
They weren't empty. Oh my God, and I got stuck and it sort of backfired. So unfortunately, that was the start of my morning. But I hope and pray all of you are going to have an amazing day regardless of whatever the morning was.
But I'll tell you why the roads were still crowded. Okay, now what we really need to do is that the time we used to leave, from our places for work, I think that we still need to kind of leave on that time because
Okay.
do you remember in winters, the school timing was a little earlier. So earlier if it was 8, now it's 7:30 as well because the days are smaller. And so for everybody and anybody who was planning that, okay, what should I do, to avoid that rushy feeling, please make sure that you continue to go on the same time and you will actually be reaching your office 7 minutes earlier because that's what happened to me.
Oh, that's
so I reached
nice.
office somewhere around 8:21, 8:22. So today I was here 7 minutes earlier as well, and I was like, wow, what should I do? So I kind of listened to a few songs as well early in the morning.
So maybe I'll carpool with you next time. I know when I'm getting late.
Sure, why not?
All right. So tell me, what are your plans for the weekend?
All right, I'm working, alhamdulillah. I'm glad. I'm thankful to Allah Almighty in the first place as well that I've got a lot of work. Just after this show, I'll be going to the National Assembly where I'll be hosting a show for the Honorable Speaker of National Assembly as well. Shukr, alhamdulillah, once again.
That's
Then I'll have to
nice.
go to Lahore. Then from Lahore, I have to go to Bhuban. So, alhamdulillah, I'll be working. It's been a while that I haven't gotten a weekend to myself. And I'm thankful. Thank God, Allah Mia, because my mind's not idle anymore. And I think a lot of people have actually gone through this situation due to the pandemic as well. That, you're at home, you have nothing to do, and, your work actually entails having massive crowds as well. So you couldn't do that. And so I think my heart is overwhelmed. And I'm just thankful and I have a lot of gratitude. Shukr, alhamdulillah.
Well, that is
What about you? What are you
absolutely-
doing?
I am sleeping on this weekend. I tell you that, of course. I've been so exhausted for so long. Alhamdulillah for everything, all the opportunities that we get. But I guess being only human, we do get exhausted and tired as well. So I'm really looking forward to the weekend so I can sleep 2 straight days. I have told my friends I'm not available this weekend. I've told my family, sorry, I'm not even picking up your calls because sleep is there.
Yeah.
But Shahzad, brilliant things are happening in Pakistan. What do you know about Tour de Waziristan?
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Tour de Waziristan, obviously I think we really need to appreciate Balochistan over here because their team actually won. We actually have visuals to share with you guys as well. So please, Siza, let everybody know, or if you want me to
Yeah,
let
please go
everybody know,
ahead.
I'll let them know as well. The Balochistan team, ladies and gentlemen, was declared
Excuse
the
me.
overall winner, while Karachi-based cyclist Ali Ilyas clinched first position in individual ranking as the final phase of the 3-day Tour de Waziristan National Cycle Race 2021 competitions concluded in Vanna this week. National-level cyclists from across the country participated in the Tour de Waziristan National Cycle Race. The Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Culture and Tourism Authority, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Cycling Association, Pakistan Cycling Federation, Frontier Corps, and Commissioner Dera Ismail Khan Division had jointly organized the thrilling event. Wow, just hearing it, Tour de Waziristan, I think it just
So much
makes
fun.
it makes it sound fun as well. Wow, so congratulations to Team Balochistan and congratulations to Ali from Karachi on individual ranking as well. And imagine that Pakistan is actually on the right track. We're talking about sports, we're talking about culture, and we're talking about all the local government bodies coming together and making sure that we have something very exciting to do, and that too cycling, which is going to make us physically fit. Wow.
Would you ever do that? Would you ever be a part of a marathon or a race?
I mean, I would rather be, a part of a heavy bike race, something of the
Oh.
Formula One or something of that. So cycling takes too much effort from my legs as well. So I think I might skip on that. What about you?
I do remember this was probably a few weeks ago. We had this show about a cycling competition going to happen
Yeah.
in Islamabad as well. I don't know when it was, but that was an exciting thingy, right? I absolutely love
You
the
wanted
idea.
to go, right?
I wanted
Well,
to go.
why did you go then?
I don't know when it
Because
is
you did
happening.
have a bicycle, I think.
Yeah, that too. Also, I don't think my legs are made for this. I mean, it's one of the days they were hiking up to, rather cycling up to Munnar.
Munnar, Murray.
The other days they were going to Murray. I was like, dude, you know what? I support you, but there's no way I can cycle up there. I'm not physically fit. Maybe I'll work out first. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll,
You have to
develop
train.
my stamina and then go about
But
it.
other than that, Shiza, you know what? That women, we talk about women empowerment quite a lot. We've been talking about 16 days of activism, which has been going on.
Yes.
And we really need to kind of mention about all of those women doing wonderful things in different fields.
Oh, of
So there's a lady
course.
who's doing some
Yes.
wonderful things in technology. Do you want to kind of share that good news with all those Pakistanis out there?
Absolutely. Amara Masood, ladies and gentlemen, she happens to be the CEO of NDC Tech and is the winner of Women in Tech Leadership category at the 21 Global Banking Tech Awards hosted in London by FinTech Futures. This is truly a valuable recognition competing globally with the top tech leadership in the financial industry among the other contenders, of course. The award is an accolade for a leader making a significant impact in the banking financial services industry and contributing towards the industry's betterment. Congratulations, Amara Masood. This
Wow.
was absolutely amazing and so inspirational for a lot of women out there, right?
And we are still here talking about cycling up to Munal or Murray as well. So you guys are doing a great job. Please make sure that you continue to do so and continue to
Definitely.
make Pakistanis proud. But
But
other than that,
yes, Shazad. Now, today is a very important day. Of course, we're going to dedicate the entire show towards that. But to begin with, I think we should start at the situation in Pakistan at hand.
Yep.
I want you to, for the past few years, of course, special attention has been given to this particular. I don't want to call it an issue, but rather a very important topic as well.
Subject, yeah.
Subject, yes. So, Shazad, you're a part of this movement now as well.
Alhamdulillah.
I want you to tell us what the National Assembly or what Pakistan's government is doing about this particular thing that we're talking
All
about.
right, so there are a lot of things, and since I mentioned just at the beginning of the program as well, first things first, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that today it actually happens to be the International Day for persons with disability as well. So I think that it is an important day. It's because of the fact that, we really need to kind of talk about where the theme this year around is leadership and participation of persons with disabilities towards an inclusive, accessible and sustainable post-COVID-19 world. And I think that the pandemic has kind of taught us quite a lot of things, and it's because of the fact that imagine where humans are social beings, where we really need to connect with other people, where we need to be in contact, we need to have conversations, sit down with somebody, have a pat on the back as well. Imagine that pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, left us all alone because it was all about isolation, it was all about quarantine, and people like us, individuals whom we might call that, obviously we're not persons with disabilities as well, but we might have, rather I want to change this word to kind of capabilities. I think this will sound better as well because everybody is able to do quite a lot in their life as well. But imagine that they definitely did had a backlash on people as well. And when we talk about Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, the infrastructure in majority of the places over here is not inclusive. People who are on wheelchairs, people, God forbid, if they are visually impaired, if they have hearing impairment, it's literally difficult to be out there on your own. And when we talk about the developed countries, obviously they have structures where I've mentioned this quite a lot of times as well, that, even if, because usually most often I visit UK, if there's somebody, a person who's actually on a wheelchair, goes to a bus station, the bus driver will come, stop, the bus drops down, the ramp comes out, and he's going to give a push to the person who's on the wheelchair as well and make sure that they can live their life on their own. We do not certainly have this concept over here. One, obviously, our parents are very concerned. They want us to be around them and they will always be supporting us. But now, obviously, Shiza, with the time and with the passage of all of these things which have been happening, everybody's out for themselves.
That's
and everybody needs to have this confidence that we'll be safe out there as well. Imagine that we do not have schools where all of these people persons with disabilities can come and study alongside us, or I do not really want to label it label us as normal, because I think that these people have done quite a lot. They have contributed quite a lot. Just on the first, Shiza, there were Khadijatul Kubra Awards where, women who are living with disabilities were awarded. And, to be honest, because the Speaker National Assembly will be inaugurating some amazing things today as well. So I don't know whether I have the authority to talk about it or not. And I do not want to give it away, but it will be in the news. But there's quite a lot that the government has done, that the Honorable Speaker, National Assembly, Mr. Asad Kaisar Sahab, has done himself. But we really need to talk about inclusion. We really need to talk about a sustainable world, that too for us and for persons with disabilities.
Absolutely, that is very brilliantly explained as well, Shazad. I have so much to talk about it. Before that, I want you all to take a look at this very detailed report that our team has created about persons living with disabilities and their prevalent status in Pakistan. Let's do it. When we come back, we will start our discussion with the apt panel of guests over here.
Let's do that.
Disability is neither simply a biological nor a social phenomenon. International Day of Persons with Disabilities is globally being observed today. In 1992, the United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution and declared annual observance of the International Day of Disabled Persons on the 3rd of December. The main purpose of this day is to promote the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities in all spheres of society. The Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities is working for the betterment of lives of disabled persons. It adopts a broad categorization of persons with disabilities and reaffirms that all persons with all types of disabilities must enjoy all human rights and fundamental freedom. The theme of this year's International Day of Persons with Disabilities is Leadership and Participation of Persons with Disabilities towards an inclusive, accessible and sustainable post-COVID-19 world. It calls attention to the challenges, barriers and opportunities for people who live in disabilities in the context of post-pandemic. Different events are being organized to mark the importance of this day worldwide.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after a brief report as well. And talking about that, obviously within the report, we've stated that, for the very first time, the International Day for Persons with Disability was actually observed back in 1992.
Okay.
And then obviously there's a Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which talks about their well-being, their rights as well. And do we really have, or do we really make sure that all of those rights which they do fall under, can they have access to all of them as well? Or have they practiced them? Have they exercised them? This is a bigger question.
Absolutely.
We really need to talk about all of these things as well. We do have a few steps which Shiza sent me, so I want Shiza to kind of give them away as well. But before any other conversation we will have, I think it's about time that we really kind of indulge in a conversation with our amazing guests over here in the studios with us.
Yes, let's
Ladies
do
and
it.
gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who happens to be the Chief Executive Officer for the Trusted Support Therapeutic Clinic. She happens to be Ms. Shumaila Noreen. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Yes, I'm good morning. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you over here. Thank you very much. And alongside Ms. Shumaila, ladies and gentlemen, this wonderful lady, she's been a regular on the show as well. Whenever we need her services, she's very welcoming. She's always overwhelmed. She's very smiley all the time. That okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Let's achieve it. Let's take advantage and let's benefit people as well. She happens to be the CEO for Pakistan Autism Health Sciences and Research Foundation. She is Ms. Sana Khan. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much, and it's amazing to be here always and see you smiling and so much energetic. You give us energy.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you. First things first, Ms. Shumaila, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a very important day. It's not about just one day in the year. It's just like throwing a pebble into water where the ripple effect is there and the waves start to come towards you as well. And obviously, media needs to play an important role where we raise awareness. Where do you think we are in terms of awareness, and what do you think that is the importance of this day?
Okay, before answering your question, I would like to say a few words about this day.
Yeah,
The 3rd December is observed as a World Disability Day. So I'm of the strong opinion that the word disability shouldn't be using, as you said earlier. We can say World Capability Day maybe, or different ability day, because all these people are capable of doing awesome stuff which even we cannot do. I have seen people without hands. They are using their feet to feed themselves, to write, to do all the chores which we cannot even imagine to do. So we shouldn't call them disabled. So it's very annoying. We can call them differently abled, or we can call them capable of doing something. And as far as significance is concerned, they are, contribute a substantial part of the population. So they have also all the rights which are somehow neglected. They have right to education, they have right to medical treatment, they have right in the ownership like property or inheritance right, which they are not normally given. And all these stuff and awareness. You talked about awareness. Yes, awareness is increasing day by day, and thanks to the media and you people, obviously, because few years back, if you see, there was no awareness about disabilities, especially invisible disabilities. You name it, autism, any other neurodevelopmental disorders. People were not aware of these things, and they usually used to name them, pagal. I have met many families, when we talk about inclusion. I am a mother of 2 autistic boys, by the way. So my kids were also refused in the school, saying that ab hamare bacche pagalon ke sath baithenge, and this is a very normal statement we used to hear from the schools.
I'm so sorry you have to hear that.
When they refuse and they say, the other parents come to us and they say, हम आपको इतनी फीस इसलिए दे रहे हैं कि हमारे बच्चे पागलों के साथ बैठे हैं, so that's
I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's happening in this world, people are using such words for these kids, and to the families and to the mothers. This is so embarrassing, and this is so disappointing also.
Of course.
I have met, because I'm running a clinic, so I used to meet so many mothers. So many mothers were divorced just because they had abnormal kids. I shouldn't be using this word abnormal, obviously. So because of having a child which is not neurotypical, they were divorced. They're single moms, they're struggling, they're doing full-time jobs, they're taking care of their kids. They were blamed. ये बच्चा, ye aapke gunaahon ki saza hai. So this is happening in the society. So thanks to you guys that you're creating and you're raising awareness about these issues, and you're talking about this problem.
So I have to first of all mention over here, we absolutely appreciate and really commend your courage for speaking out. Of course, I cannot imagine even being able to share my story or tell people around me if I were to hear what you guys have heard, right?
Yeah, I've heard.
And I'm sorry about that. And if I have to say it, I'm sorry on behalf of the entire country. I swear, I mean, of course, these words are not normal. And where you said that it is a term, when we say persons with disabilities, can you believe it's a politically correct term? You know, organizations and institutions have termed it politically correct. I have the same issue with the term persons with color. It is as if like you are still categorizing people in a different category, but you're just changing the heading or the bracket of it. But you're still making 2 groups. How is that politically correct? I think just like last century, now that we're changing things, probably 20 years down the lane, we'll be like, oh, we used the wrong words back there as well.
Exactly, that's going to happen.
Imagine that. But I really have to, again, you ladies are really so strong, and I want to come back to this as well. But moving on to you, ma'am, I want you to highlight the theme of this day particularly. And then when we talk about a billion or even more people in the world, not only in Pakistan, what are some of the, on top of your head categories that do come under disability for this day? For example, like ma'am spoke about neuroatypical disorders or something like that.
Actually, I've been to Europe and I've seen other countries as well.
Yes.
And I've seen that when I'm here, my son, he cannot go anywhere outside. I can't leave him alone in the stations. And when I saw people there, they have a beautiful, heart, I must say.
They're very caring.
Very caring. And my son was outside of the shop and I was shopping with my daughter inside there. And the lady was with my son. She was having bags with her. She was also, shopping there. And she said, if this boy is outside, where is his mother? And she was there for 10 to 15 minutes. She never left my son. She said, ma'am, he's your son. I said, yes. Oh my God. Okay, I thought he's alone and nobody's there for her. So, these are the things which we can't see here. And like Ms. Shamala said, we as mothers, we should come forward. I'm working now on mothers' empowerment. We are talking about women empowerment. I'm specifically highlighting the issue of single mothers. I don't know what single is, but I've seen so many mothers who are married still, but they are, running here and there, just all alone, and they're not allowed to spend money on their children because ye bacha kya karega? What will that child do? Why are you
So
spending money on
unfortunate.
those children? Whenever the parents come to us, fathers are not there. Only mothers they are bringing them to us, and we need schools as well, the institutions as well, that they should be, like in other countries, they are really strict on this, that a child will not be thrown out of the school.
Of
Here
course.
they don't even care. You just take your son somewhere else, you take your daughter somewhere else, but we are not keeping them here. Even if there are centers, they cannot capable of keeping children who are more of, with troubles. So the centers say, okay, please, we cannot handle them. We need more and more, training and the
Training,
law.
absolutely.
I always talk about the law, that we don't have a law on intellectual difficulties. I must say difficulties because every human being have a difficulty somewhere
Exactly.
else. Somewhere.
I have so many of them.
Yeah, I'm with ADHD. I always say, why do you say ADHD? Why do you say you're in
Difficulty, yeah.
intellectual
Wonderful.
difficulties? Because people should know that, okay, if I'm having this problem, there must be something. So I should take care of it.
That's wonderful and wonderfully explained as well. But I think that there's more for us to do as well. For the laws to be in place, for the government to think about inclusive infrastructure as well, where everybody can actually have access to whatever facility they want to visit. Because we're in Pakistan, we still know that cousin marriages are very common. We still know how any mother-in-law would kind of be backlashing onto that bahu, who God forbid actually, gave birth to a kid who's not neurotypical, for God forbid as well. And we still know that how their sons are going to actually kind of play the game as well, in kind of looking forward to getting married again. And then the problem is not just for the kid, but for the mother too as well.
Exactly.
What do
What
you
a
think that
mess.
the society needs to do? We need to come together for all of these people, because we spoke about autism as well. And we have done a gazillion shows on autism,
Yes.
where there was this
Thanks to
gentleman
you.
who
And we're
used to come
proud.
to our place as well. And he had problems, and he was like that, wherever I go, people just call me that he's drunk. Or God forbid, there's a problem with me or something like that, but I'm not drunk, this is a disease, people do not know about it. So it's our lack of education in the first place, that we are, so less informed about things that we start to judge people. And I think that, which is why, I'm sorry that I'm going to add on over here as well. Just a few days ago, I was scrolling down my Facebook, looking on everyone's pictures, and I was like, Facebook is just making me more judgmental about
Why?
how people are spending their lives.
Okay.
And I think this is how we are in normal life now. We kind of look at people and the way they talk, the way they say, whatever they wear, we kind of judge them, whether they come from a good background or not.
And we put so much nazar on each other
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
but believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that imagine that for all of those people you're judging, you certainly do not have any right to judge them. And I think that what we really need to kind of do is, rather than judging, educate ourselves, have more information, so that you can spread this positivity and let everybody know.
Brilliant.
So what do you think, ma'am, that the society needs to do? Because cousin marriages still exist. We still have that mother-in-law bahu wala masla masail in Pakistan, and how everybody's going to blame the women, not the man. Even
Not the man, yeah.
this is going too far away as well. Just think about having girls only, not even a boy. They
Exactly.
start blaming the woman as well, where she does not have any role to play in it. Imagine.
And at the first instance, the mother is already upset, because she's having such a child, and then she's told that this is your fault.
True.
This is your gunaho ki saza, and she is being punished for this. This is so unfortunate. So as a society, we should play our part as well, because every one of us can contribute somehow. So what we have done, a bunch of mothers and bunch of professionals, we have joined hands together. We are contacting different schools. So like I am working with 40 kids. So I talk to the mothers, your kids are going to some schools, please give contacts of those schools. We went to those schools.
Now, I'm sorry, I'm stopping you over here, but I need to kind of, because what you said. Now, imagine that you yourself are saying that I actually have to contact their mothers. Imagine that the participation of fathers is close to none.
Exactly, yeah.
Then,
They're
the
not
fathers
there.
are not even
Sometimes
there.
mothers,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
mothers, they
Yeah.
want to go to the beauty parlor, they want to go to attend the weddings, but they don't have time to take
Obviously.
their children to the institutions
True.
for help. And they say, okay, I just need home-based, therapies and all
Yeah,
that, which these children are already isolated. Why don't you bring them out? Just leave everything.
Socialize.
I've left everything. I left everything
And
in my
you
life.
enjoy it, right? You love it.
Because
being with
my
your kids
children
is-
are amazing, and other children that I'm seeing,
Mashallah.
they are amazing. So I love to be between them. you
And
know.
I've been in conversation with your children as well.
Yeah.
And of course, they're so brilliant.
Great
and
guy,
you know,
yeah.
I have to mention over here
No, but
that
I want Miss Smiley to complete
Complete
as well.
as well,
Yeah, I'm
So
working
sorry.
with
No problem.
twins right now in UK, and the mother is working full time. Husband is very well off, but he's not willing to pay for their therapies. So she has to work the whole day, you know, because she has to afford their therapies. Because the father thinks, क्या फायदा पैसे जाया करने का, इनका तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला.
We always
Allahu Akbar.
listen
And
to
she was
them.
crying like hell last night. She said, I'm done. I am tired. You know, I have to see, I have to look after home. And you know, the kids are not allowed to play. दीवार खराब हो जाएगी. You know, she was crying, you know. वो उसके भी बच्चे हैं.
of course.
And he is so, anyways, so we contacted the schools and we said, please accept these kids. When we talk about inclusive environment, I said we'll give you free training. In fact, I have recently did training with 2 schools. We'll provide you all the support you need. We'll provide you all the trainings, but please start taking those kids because they have all the rights to be included. They have all the rights to study with their siblings, you know.
Why not?
Yeah.
Of course. And you
Exactly.
know what? May Allah give you jaza for it. Inshallah, He will definitely
Inshallah.
in this life and hereafter as well. Both of you, guys are doing a brilliant job as well. I want to head out to a short break and then after that continue the discussion. But before that, I want you to, ma'am, talk about your personal experiences in this matter. Rather, let me tell you, United Nations is really, really proud to, you know, always put out the stats on their website. We're really happy to hear them because they sort of set a pattern for the states, institutions, even individuals to follow. But what do we do with that pattern? Shahzad mentioned that we're celebrating this day, observing this day since the 90s.
93, yeah.
And it's 2021 now. We give out a report each year. What are some of the changes that you have practically felt, okay, this is what has changed? Or are there any such changes?
Actually, the thing is that we don't have a data here. First of all, we need a data.
Pakistan specific?
Yes, specific.
Okay.
We just assume that we have these much children because we don't have accurate diagnosis even. When we have accurate diagnosis, then we will have a data. So we need other organizations, government organizations, to come forward with us, and especially government, that they should help us out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that certainly needs to be done as well. But ladies and gentlemen, before we actually kind of get our hands onto data, I think that we might be very late for all of us as well and for all of those individuals who are unfortunately living with disabilities as well. And I think that we really need to come together as a whole. And, you know, where we have so much love to share for all of those people out there within our family, maybe brothers and sisters, we will always continue to have that. But I think it's a shared responsibility. Imagine that, you know, when we actually talk about a person who's, God forbid, suffering from depression or any post-traumatic stress disorder, what do we say? We say that we need a therapist,
Yeah.
we say that we need a doctor, we say that we need the qazi of the masjid as well, we need the brothers and the sisters to be out there for the support so that it is a holistic support system as well. But we need to ask this question to ourselves, whether have we created such a holistic support system for all of those people or persons living with disabilities?
That is absolutely a very, I want to say, a very pertinent question that everyone should be asking themselves. And maybe today specifically, this is a task for you guys to ponder upon. We're heading out to a short break at a very light-hearted thing I want to share with everyone. I'm a part of a Facebook group, of course, where amazing women share their stories with each other. And this became so viral, Shahzad, this was probably last month or so, someone shared that 3 women, complete strangers from Pakistan, all 3 of them on wheelchairs,
They
did an
went abroad.
international tour, you know, visited all their favorite places together without the help of him. And that is women empowerment, that is independence I'm talking about. I did not ask their permission to share the picture with you guys out here, but the story definitely I can share. And I was so moved, Shahzad. Imagine the amount of courage that story might have given to all the people out there. It was so sweet.
And thank you very much, Shazam, for saying that and sharing that as well. But, you know, there's once again another question, and that question is, why do you think that they actually had to go abroad? Because they had the 100%
Exactly.
facility, they had 100% support, the staff, from the crew of the plane to the people in the restaurants or the hotels they're going to check in, they will be there to serve them with all the happiness. But imagine going all over Pakistan where you do not certainly have one single recreational park for people living with disabilities.
ramp, man.
And that's a question for everybody out there. We're heading out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere, because when you guys will come back, we need to talk about more positive things.
Of course.
How the trainings can take place, how everybody needs to be a part of this process. But after this short break, good morning. Don't go anywhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTV World. You watching What This Morning alongside Ms. Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Hassan Khan. Earlier, ladies and gentlemen, before heading out towards a short break, obviously we were talking about a very important day, which happens to be today on the 3rd of December 2021. Started back in 1992 for the very first time as well. Today it happens to be the International Day for Persons with Disabilities.
Right.
We're talking about inclusion. We're talking about sustainable set up so that they can actually have access to all of those things which we have access to, ladies and gentlemen. May it be inclusive education, may it be traveling, may it be going to different buildings and facilities for doing whatever they want to do.
Okay, so of course, we went out on a short break discussing this beautiful positive story of these three amazing women from Pakistan. Are we ready to share?
Who went to Egypt, I guess.
Who went to Egypt? Yes, I have never been to Egypt, but I'm so happy for them. The pictures look just surreal. So I said I didn't ask their permission, but the pictures are out there in all the news organizations. So we did pick them up from the archives. Are we ready to share them? So imagine they're from Balochistan, they're from KPK and Punjab, all three of them. Unfortunately, two of them had developed polio in early age, and one of them could not walk by birth due to a defect or a similar condition. But that did not stop them from doing whatever they wanted to do. It did stop them from, learning more about their own country because of the limited resources and facilities over here. But they plan together to go across borders and, enjoy all the beautiful things out there.
So we are actually going to take you on a visual journey as well. Can we
Whenever
please
we
have
can.
the pictures now? Yes, there they are. I think,
So sweet. You know how they met? Actually, all three of them are really...
sisters?
No, they're soul sisters, but they're all three activists, and they really, really speak for the right of persons living with any sort of, unusual conditions or, like we say, disabilities.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, for everybody who's out there, there's one more thing in this picture, and that is that these women collectively thought about it. They didn't really sat on it, and they were like, okay, we're going
Let's
to do this,
it,
let's
yes.
do this. And I think which is why they were so successful. They went outside, and each one of them was the support, with the other person as well. So imagine all three of them gave support to each other.
So
Their
sweet.
families, thank you. I don't know what might have gone within the family that, whether better you should go or you shouldn't go as well.
But
I
fought
think
it.
they are an epitome, they are a beacon of hope, and everybody needs to follow their footsteps as well. Because if you feel like doing it, please go ahead. Nothing's stopping you. And this is how the world needs to be. Which is why, coming back to the same point where I was like that, God forbid, if they had planned to travel in Pakistan, now imagine that we certainly do not have few places we might, but majority of the places, if you go, we do not even have the right washrooms for persons with disabilities as well. Imagine that, obviously, the cultural differences here that a man can actually, any stranger cannot pick you up and put you on the wheelchair as well. So we have these issues, we have these problems which we need to overcome. We do not have people who are trained to kind of look after people who are persons with disabilities. We do not have a single recreational park in all of Pakistan where people who are visually impaired, where people who have hearing impairment, where people who cannot walk can actually go to. Imagine that it's so difficult for them to even have ramps that they're not even accessible. They cannot even smell the flower which is blooming in a season where it's supposed to bloom as well. They cannot just feel the grass under their bare feet.
Yeah.
So that's quite a lot, And
But we're
imagine
also-
it. I need a day, at least in a week, where I just go walk on the grass bare feet, just to feel it.
And
so
it's
if,
so
if I
human.
cannot, God forbid, see it, I need to feel it at least. That's my right.
Absolutely, and it is such a basic human right, ladies and gentlemen. And to think about it that, well, technologically we are also challenged, Shahzad. All the things that you spoke about that are, social, cultural, architectural, whatnot, even technologically. Because if we speak about all the persons with special needs, and even specifically talking about persons in wheelchairs that we just saw, it's so expensive to buy a wheelchair that you can control by yourself, which is technologically advanced. Shahzad, unfortunately, there are people who contact me for funds and, Alaji, please give me all the capability that I have to sort of help them whenever I can. I try to, of course, but just looking at that makes me realize it's not affordable for everyone out there.
Exactly.
Then imagine the condition. Now, I want you all to discuss in a solution-oriented kind of way that while this is a major part of SDGs 2030, leaving no one behind, equality, whatnot.
Inclusion, yeah.
Inclusion, of course. How are we realizing it? What are some of the ways that you think we haven't done yet and we should definitely? Let's begin with you, ma'am.
Yeah, as you have discussed in detail about the infrastructure, that we don't have infrastructure to accommodate such people.
गाड़ी नहीं जा सकती अक्सर जगहों पे तो.
So yeah, washroom तो बहुत दूर की बात है. So we
Exactly.
should be giving them special privileges also. I've been in Dubai for a few years. वहाँ पे एक कार्ड बनता है, you know, and उस कार्ड की basis पे, you know, my child has, you know, he doesn't have to wait in the airport.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to wait anywhere. उसको special privileges मिलती हैं, you know, restaurants में he is free. किसी भी, you know, amusement park he is free. Such kind of things we need to do in Pakistan also. I've been in Lal Killa few months ago, and the owner was sitting there, fortunately, and he specially contacted us and said, "This we are not going to charge your child." You know, that was so nice gesture of him. You know, such kind of heart we need, such kind of people we need in the society, so that they should give special privileges to our kids. you know.
Exactly. Thank you very much for saying that, and we're glad that at least over here in Islamabad we do have handicap parking slots as well. And just to educate a lot of people, because majority of the time if I go to F6, F7 or anywhere else where we do have these parking spots for people who are handicapped, God forbid, or persons with disabilities, what happens is that anybody, you know, would go and park their car and be like, "Sir, meri kamar, meri tang mein badi dard hai," you know, which is why I'm parking over here. Please don't do that. There's a reason why they've actually booked a parking slot for them, because so that they can reach out to all of those places where they want to go, that too on their own. Please, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen, it's a humble request to all those Pakistanis out there. Respect them. Make sure that you give them that due space and respect as well. Ma'am, what about you? The solutions, training, whatever.
The solution first is that I would come again because my field is with intellectual difficulties, you know.
Yes.
So the problem is that when we see the wheelchair parking, if I am going to park the car for my son because he is with autism spectrum disorder, so if I park the car there, I will be told that no, you cannot because you don't have a wheelchair. Your son can, you know, move around and he can walk. So no, we need also you know, a logo for autism spectrum disorder, which you know that it's a puzzle.
Yes.
So we also should introduce that even in the health card. We don't have any kind of facilities for our children for intellectual difficulties or adults, I must say, especially in workspaces. We should give people, like I have one person, she called me and she said, "Ma'am, I'm a media manager and I have autism spectrum disorder, but I don't know where to go when I contact anyone and I have a problem in the workspaces." So workspaces also should get trained. We should give every company and every organization a training as well. So like you are working on media, so I would like to ask you as well that you should also help us in creating awareness. Like, for example, we need 1 hour at least a program on that should be on you know, difficulties or you know, disabilities, like
And,
people
and
they know
we would
that.
certainly want to do that.
Yeah.
We will be happy to do that as well.
So people
because
should question as well.
Yeah, because me
Yeah.
and Shiza over here, you know, this is something which we talk about mutually as well, and
Yeah.
we kind
1
of
hour
agree
is
on
nothing,
it that,
you
know, this
know.
is our job.
Yeah,
And other than job, I think we have this
Yes.
passion of helping people because
Yeah.
Allah has given this opportunity. We do not know how
platform,
long this
man.
will
So
last.
people will contact you, you know,
so-
people will contact you. They will ask question from you, where to
Exactly.
go, what to do.
Exactly.
This will be a great help for, you know, Pakistan.
And this is something certainly which we have focused our energies on, maybe our producer Saab as well,
Inshallah.
Jamshed Saab, Hasnain,
Yeah, I have
Roha,
also
Zoha,
talked to
everybody in our
Jamshed.
team,
Please do,
you
Jamshed,
know,
something too
We,
for
we,
us.
we certainly want to do that. But thank you very much, wonderful ladies, for
Thank
joining
you.
us. It was
Thank you
wonderful
so
to
much.
have you over
Thank
here
you.
to talk about, and that too on such an important topic where we are left behind.
Yeah.
And we really need to do it collectively. We need to join hands together as well. But for people who are out there, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's us in the first place that we need to create space in our mind and heart, both for all of these people who are out there. And you know, they didn't ask Allah to be born like this. You know, it's the fate of life. This is how life is, and we really need to be more accepting towards them as well, because it's us. I think who are differently able. It's them who are very capable. And imagine that the people who are actually, you know, persons with disabilities or actually fall under this category, which inshallah in 10 years or 20 years, the politically correct term will change. They have done
I wish
quite
I
a lot.
could do it.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Yeah.
programs. You need to
Change.
go onto YouTube and look for all of these things as well. But thank you very much, Ms. Sumaila. And thank you very much, Ms. Sana, for joining us. You're
Thank you
wonderful
too.
beings,
Thank you so
wonderful
much.
mothers. Continue to do so. And we hope that your husbands or, your family is out there to support your cause as well. Thank you very much.
But we are definitely always here to support
Thank
whenever
you
you
so
need
much.
to. And Shazad, where you said that why can't we change the terms for that matter, why can't we accept them, or why can't we just feel like maybe we are the unusual ones with special or extra abilities? You know what? I feel like why can't we be so open as to just believe that Allah did create different creations?
Yeah.
I mean, is it that hard to sort of accept this? Not everyone can be same. Shazad, the amount of times our religion tells us not every human is same. Even the fingertips or the fingerprints are different. Why can we not accept physical change or even something that is unusual mentally with someone? They're still humans.
Yeah.
Humans can be of different shapes and forms. About time. In the 21st century, we are now accepting plus size for that matter. We are now accepting obese people for that matter. And I'm using these words because people really go through it.
True.
And now with the acceptance of different body shapes and sizes, people are feeling satisfied. So why can't we do it already? If for the sake of fashion, we can call, something plus size and be happy about it, which we were already. For the sake of humanity, why
Plus
can't we
size,
just
yeah.
accept, man, that things can be different, people can be different, and this is the beauty of humanity and the creation of Allah already.
Exactly. And in addition to that, Sheza, I would actually want to add over here that imagine that if we kind of come across a person who's got 11 fingers, we're like, wow, yeah, you're blessed with an extra finger, show us. And all of a sudden we're so cool about it. And then God forbid, if you go to see a person who's actually asking for us for help, that, he really needs to cross the road because he cannot see, we start to look at things very differently. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that this divide within your own brain, please make sure
Exactly.
that you get rid of that. I think that our families have contributed towards this divide. I think that the
Yes.
grooming could have been better.
Exactly.
The schools could have done a better job. The politicians, the leadership could have done a better job. And obviously, why not? Because on this day, if you're talking about this, and we every year have talked about this on PTV World, I think that the government's looking forward to it as well. And inshallah, things will change.
Shazad, you raised a very important point. I'm sorry, I have to take this time. My producers, people in the MCR, we really have to. And I think this is the task for everyone watching right now because the target audience for our show is really specific. So I have a lot of hope from you guys. What you can do to be the element of change for today and always is people from your family, people from your friends, if they use a term that is not okay, or if they sort of make fun of a person that is different than you, stop them right there. Stop your mother if it's your mother. Stop your sisters, or siblings, stop your friends if they're the ones, sort of differentiating.
Exactly.
Because you stopping them will definitely leave an imprint in their mind, and the next time they will think twice before doing that.
Yes, thank you very much, Shiza, for saying that. And imagine that Usman's not going to say anything to us today.
Oh,
and there's a
yes.
reason, because otherwise it's
forgot.
Usman, ladies and gentlemen, yelling in our ears, hey, the time's
Producer.
over. But one of our producers, Mr. Usman, is a great guy. His nephew's birthday is today. His name is Asher. So Asher, a very happy hash day to
So
you. May you
cute.
many more. You're so cute. Your mamu's not. Yeah, but Asher, happy
Happy
birthday to you. Happy hash day to you. May you have a lot of success in your life. And may you literally do not get under the shadow of your mamu Usman.
Shazam.
Yeah. And keep loving your parents. Make sure that you are always, whenever you grow up and you look at this wonderful birthday message, make sure that you kind of always obey your parents, because that's the way to success. That's the shortcut to success. Make sure that you offer all your 5 prayers as well. Pray to Allah Almighty for anything and everything you need. A lot of prayers your way. Happy Hatch Day. Ashir, look after yourself and stay away from your mamu Usman.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are definitely signing off. We'll see you on Monday, inshallah. Hoping and praying that all of you have an amazing weekend. Till the next time, take care. Make sure to write to us. We'll see you again.
Inshallah. So, Jummah Mubarak, ladies and gentlemen. Remember us all in your prayers. Look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.
Take care.